Chapter 1, Section 5, Adding Integers. The objective of this lesson is to learn how to add integers. Now when we add integers, we need to familiarize ourselves with the number line. If we take a look at this number line, often we think of 0 being in the middle of the number line. To the right of 0 are our positive integers. On the left-hand side of 0 are negative integers. The farther we move to the right on the number line, the greater the value the number is. The farther we move to the left on the number line, the less value the number is. To add a positive number, move to the right on a number line. To add a negative number, we move to the left on a number line. Now let's go back to this first statement. To add a positive number, move to the right on a number line. An example of that would be a plus a positive 4. When we add a positive 4 to a number, we will move to the right on a number line 4 spaces or 4 units. To add a negative number, move to the left on a number line. An example of that would be a plus a negative 4. From a, if we add a negative 4, we will move 4 spaces to the left on a number line. Adding integers. This graph right here shows that if the signs of the integers are the same, and again you're adding, what you want to do is simply find the sum of their absolute values, then use the same sign as the integers. So for example, 7 plus 5. The signs are the same, meaning the 7 is positive, the 5 is positive. So we simply add 7 and 5, and we know that our sum is going to be positive. In this case, positive 12. In the second example here, we've got a negative 7 and a negative 5. We add their absolute values, so the absolute value of a negative 7 is 7. The absolute value of negative 5 is 5, so 7 plus 5 is 12. And we use the same sign because we're adding same sign numbers. So it would be 12, and we put a negative in front of that. Now if we're adding and the signs of the numbers are different, we need to find the difference of their absolute values, then use the sign of the integer with the greater absolute value. There are two examples of that. 7 plus a negative 5. Now these signs are different. Negative 5 and positive 7, those are different signs. Because they're different, we're going to find the difference of 7 and 5. The difference of 7 and 5 is 2. Now we are going to use the sign in our answer from the integer with the greater absolute value. So 7 and a negative 5. 7 has a greater absolute value than a negative 5. The 7 is positive, so our answer is going to be positive. So these signs are different, positive 7 and negative 5. We find the difference of 7 and 5, which is 2. 7 is farther from 0, so we're going to take its sign for the answer. In the second example, we have negative 7 plus positive 5. Again, different signs, a negative and a positive number. We're going to find the difference of 7 and 5, which is 2. In this case, negative 7 is farther from 0, so we're going to take that sign, the negative sign, and that's going to be the sign in our sum. Let's take a look at example A. We have 1 plus a negative 2. Let's first find 1 on the number line. Now we're going to add a negative number. And when I add a negative number on a number line, I'm going to move to the left. So from 1, I'm going to move to the left 2 units or 2 spaces. 1, 2, and I will end up at negative 1. So my answer is 1 plus a negative 2 will equal a negative 1. In example B, negative 8 plus 5. I'm going to first start at a negative 8 on the number line. I'm going to add 5. When I add a positive 5 on a number line, I'm going to move to the right 5 spaces. from a negative 8 in this case. So I'm going to start at a negative 8 in 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I will end up at a negative 3. So negative 8 plus 5 comes out to be a negative 3. Now, on the previous slide, it told us that if we are adding and the signs are different, I simply find the difference of the numbers, of their absolute values. So the difference of 8 and 5 is 3. 8 is farther from 0, so I'm going to take its sign, which is negative, and bring it to my answer. So it's going to be negative 3. In the first example, if we go back to letter A, they have different signs, so let's find the difference of 2 and 1. The difference is 1. 2 is farther from 0, so I'm going to take its sign and put it in front of my answer. The last example, example C, negative 2 plus negative 4. We're going to find negative 2 on a number line. That's our starting point. I'm going to add a negative 4. When I add a negative on a number line, I'm going to go to the left, and in this case 4 units or 4 spaces, starting at the negative 2. So negative 2, I'm going to go to the left, 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I will end up at a negative 6. Now, in this case, I am adding two numbers with the same sign, so I'm simply going to add the numbers of 2 and 4. 2 and 4 is 6. They're both negative, so my answer is going to be negative 6.